Hey, don't you love it when you're recording or something and the mic just does not pick up? You love to see it. But what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Nehemiah, aka Neo. And today we're going to be talking about some of my bigger takeaways in the NBA season thus far. We're going to be talking about some awards, some niche teams, and just overall what I think is happening in the NBA right now. Because I think if some people are noticing what I'm going to talk about, I'm going to be talking about. I think we're in a transition period in the NBA, if that makes sense. I think what we're seeing from the older generation is not going to sustain for 1 or 2 more years. And I think what we're seeing from the newer generation is going to be more what we're going to be accustomed to in the next couple of years. I think we're seeing it right now with the Utah Jazz, even the Portland Trailblazers, who aren't necessarily their main star is Damian Lillard. Don't get it twisted. He's still one of the best players in the NBA. Do not get that twisted. The thing is though that their roster right now is a lot younger. And, Shaden Sharp is putting in solid minutes at the age of 19. Even guys like Keon Johnson, well, he's not playing the best, but I would say even a guy like Nazir Little, even a guy like Anthony Simons, Drew Eubanks, Justice Winslow are putting up like numbers on this team. And yeah, I just think that this is going to be really solid. Even these guys are a lot younger. Damian's the oldest player on this roster. Some of these other rosters are just full of older players. Think of the Los Angeles Lakers, for example. Like, look at the age difference between them and the other squad. They have Russ, Pat Bev, and AD. They're all older players. I think AD turns 30 next year, which is going to be really concerning. The only anomaly to this is kind of the Clippers. But the thing about the Clippers is I just think that they also do have, like, a lot of younger players. So, yeah. Oh, what the hell is this? Bro, I need to shut this shit down. I don't know how long that's been there. I'm sorry if that bothered y'all. But, yeah, let's get into some of my more thorough takeaways. Milwaukee Bucks are the best team in the NBA. They were undefeated until this game against the Atlanta Hawks without Trae Young. They dominated these guys. But even then, man, the thing that isn't really talked about enough with the Milwaukee Bucks, they are still doing this without Middleton, man. Middleton comes back next week or the week after. He's coming back really, really soon. So that's going to be something to really look at. Keep in mind, Middleton hasn't played basketball for a while, so he may not look the best. But when he does play, man, he's probably going to be, like, really electric. So just keep in mind that when we're going into that type of stuff. Also, I may have to cut this short because I need to get out, like, ASAP. But, yeah. Let's talk about more some stuff. So, right now, Giannis is the MVP by far. He's averaging 32 points on some ridiculous efficiency. Once he gets the free throw numbers up, and I'm not sure about the 3-point percentage, he's probably going to stay there. But as long as the 3-point percentage isn't, like, horrible, actually, it doesn't even matter the 3-point percentage. He could average 0% for all I care. If he's averaging 60% from the 2-point line, bro, it don't matter, bro. This dude is still gonna be him, and he's probably gonna increase his volume from the free throws and like the percentage from the free throws. He does it pretty much every season, so yeah, there's gonna be something to look at. He's also probably gonna win the Defensive Player of the Year, him or Brook Lopez. I don't know which one, but they're probably gonna be one of the two people to actually win it. Utah Jazz are definitely the most surprising team in the NBA. I've always said, who's going to be the surprise team in the NBA? Now, I forgot who I said on record, but I did say stuff like, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Atlanta Hawks could surprise people. Maybe even the Memphis Grizzlies could surprise people, even though I wasn't surprised. I knew that they were like this. I've been know that they were like this. The team that I actually did also underrate was the Toronto Raptors. I said that they were going to be like the 10th, 9th seed, and while they are definitely still above teams like the Brooklyn Nets, Philadelphia, and Miami, I did not expect them to be winning this much games. So yeah. Now, will all these teams make it back to the playoff picture? I don't know. Actually, I'm very down on a lot of these teams. Actually, the Brooklyn Nets are a good example of a team that I'm just not really a big like. I'm completely sold on all my Brooklyn Nets stocks, bro. Like, I didn't upload a video for a couple of days, and if I were to have, like, 5 of them probably would have been about the Brooklyn Nets, because I'm like done with this team, man. There's nothing that I can really talk about. Also, another really good takeaway is actually the Charlotte Hornets. I'll talk about them like slightly briefly, but this team is really bad, but that's actually a good thing because LaMelo Ball actually does need a lot more talent around him for them to actually make a really good playoff push. PJ Washington is definitely solid. Don't get me wrong. Even a guy like Gordon Hayward is actually putting up really good numbers. Even Kelly Olynyk is, or Kelly Oubre. I don't know why I said Olynyk. Also, Dennis Smith Jr. is doing really well, so that's pretty cool. But this team does need Victor really, really bad, and they just need to tank as much as they can. So yeah. Now, back to what I was saying with the Utah Jazz. I do think that Larry Markkinen is the most improved player of the year. He's just doing so much more than we have given him credit for. He has a platform now. He has a platform now. That's all I can say. Also, a guy like Colin Sexton is still he's still a dog. It's just the thing about Colin Sexton is that he probably needs to play a little bit more. Yeah, he's coming off a torn meniscus, I'm pretty sure. So he's just still like kind of calmed down. But like after the 20 game mark, I do think that he's gonna ramp up a lot of his production. He's probably gonna be in the starting role actually. Looking at the starting lineup actually, where can I find that actually? I don't know if I'm able to find it, but I do know that their starting lineup consists of Jordan Clarkson. I think that he's probably going to take this minutes, honestly. That or he's probably going to get traded, whichever the one. I do have the Atlanta Magic, and so I'm going to talk about the rookies that I really do want to talk about. Paolo and Benedict have been two of the best rookies that we've seen thus far for like a couple of years, honestly. Like I would say that Evan Mobley definitely was one of the more impressive rookies, but it was more so because of his defensive expertise at such a young age and more so his potential. I don't think that he's necessarily a guy like Luka tier. I don't think he's necessarily even like a LaMelo tier. When LaMelo was healthy, when LaMelo was starting and he was healthy, man, he was averaging 20-some points on like really good efficiency, and he was doing on like really good assist to turnover ratio. So I don't think he was necessarily on that, but I do think that Paolo and Benedict Mathurin, excuse me, are on that tier, man. Like they're just scoring magnets. Like they are putting up some big numbers, and that's really good to really see. Any other bigger takeaways? Before I get into the list, Los Angeles Lakers, and more specifically LeBron. I don't think so. Oh, these teams are dogs, by the way. I told y'all that these teams were going to be dogs. They are dogs. And I think that Michael Porter Jr. is also like a really big takeaway this season, man. Michael Porter Jr. is shooting 50% from three. Like you could be like, oh, well, he's technically shooting 48 point. Nah. This dude is shooting 50% from three. Hold on. Let me just search up one article. 50% from three. He had a really good quote about 50% from 3-point range. Let me just check if I don't know. But like essentially Kenny actually did talk about why like what this dude is doing is like unheard of, because Michael Porter Jr. going into this season was saying something like, oh, Michael Porter Jr. could average 50% from the three. That's what Michael Porter Jr. said going into this year. He said like 50% from three isn't impossible. This dude's doing that online. Like if he shot like one less three a game, he would 100% make that 50% mark, bro. Like I'm going to be completely honest. This dude is averaging such good percentage from like everywhere, bro. It doesn't make sense. Looking at his true shooting percentage, bro. This is unheard of. This is unheard of on this volume, on this 3-point attempt rate, bro. Like, if this dude is able to like initiate a lot more contact, if he's able to like create his own shot a lot more, man, this team would like dead ass be one of the best teams in the NBA and wouldn't even be close. Nikola Jokic is also taking like a back step in terms of like the field goal percentage. Well, not percentage, but more so his attempts. And that's something to really look at in his 3-point percentage, but more so Michael Porter Jr. is a dog. Jamal Murray, when he's like fully healthy, makes his team not only a contender, but one of the best teams in the NBA. Bones Highland is shooting really good from the 3-point range, and Bruce Brown is putting up really good numbers on this roster too. Also, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is shooting like great. Like this team is like the best 3-point shooting team in the NBA, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're number one, and they attempt one of the lowest amounts and make like top 10. That makes no sense, bro. This team is nuts. This team is nuts. But yeah, let's get into the Los Angeles Lakers now. No more fluff. I don't think that LeBron James is the player that we're gonna be more accustomed to looking at these next couple of games, man. 25% from, or 25 points per game on really bad percentages all around. He's shooting the lowest percent of from three from his whole career. He's doing it on the second highest amount of attempts because he pretty much has to. This team has no floor spacing. Once again, this team is just bad. Really low true shooting percentage. Overall, he said he was sick, but I just don't really think that that's only the case, because if he was just sick, I don't think he'd be playing this much games. And yeah, there may be an ongoing injury too that he's not saying. But yeah, I don't really like it. He's shooting really bad from essentially this range. This is the worst percentage he's shot in his whole career. He's also not shooting the best from three. Again, like, this is his worst 3-point shooting. Like, this is by far his worst 3-point shooting season. And keep in mind, he's doing it on like his second highest attempts ever. That's nasty. He's not really the best, man. Like, he's not what we're accustomed to seeing, and that's really concerning. Now, if you were to ask me whether or not LeBron is washed, I don't think he is. I think he's still probably a top 10 player, but I don't know where this is gonna go next, man. The Lakers as a whole don't look like a really good organization. The roster itself isn't really that good. I would say even a guy like Anthony Davis has definitely regressed to what we're not really accustomed to seeing from a guy like Anthony Davis, especially for the last couple of years. If you guys remember the short that I made about, I'm not sure how to rank Anthony Davis, this is kind of the year where I was like, okay, maybe I have a more thorough understanding of Anthony Davis. No, I don't. I just don't. It's very concerning for this team, man. They're still shooting really bad from three, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're shooting like 30%, if that. But do I have any more takeaways? Ja Morant is also like taking another level. That's also really something to look at. No, I don't think I have any more takeaways besides the ones I already said. So yeah, it's been your boy Nehemiah, aka Neo. I'm gonna rush this video to put it out. So yeah, I hope I'll see y'all later. See y'all.